Now, why in the world would I start a public speaking video with Gladys Knight singing on The Masked Singer? Well, because recognizing a singer on that show usually involves recognizing their style, the distinctive way that they sing or dance. Do they do a lot of riffs? What's their tone like? Do they do a falsetto all the time? Likewise, speakers can develop styles that help them engage with their audience based off their language choices, whether they use metaphors, if they have a lot of repetition in their speech. And that's what this video is all about, the ways that you as a speaker can use style to enhance your message. So let's start with a working definition of style. Style is the distinct, unique ways you express your thoughts and ideas in your speech. So take two phrases for an example. Phrase 1, it's hot out. Phrase 2, the sweltering summer sun is scorching my skin. Those phrases generally communicate the same thing, that it's hot outside, but the style is vastly different and is going to leave a different impression on the audience. One view of style focuses on how it is just an embellishment of the speech. Style makes the speech more enjoyable for an audience. So think of a Christmas tree. Without the lights and the ornaments, the Christmas tree is just a pine tree. And so the idea is that when we add style to a speech, we go from that pine tree to that Christmas tree. To help us understand how style works as ornamentation, let's take a look at a speech delivered by Ric Elias that exemplifies how you can use stylistic devices to embellish and ornament your speech. Ric's story is the story of him surviving a plane crash, the plane crash that inspired the movie Sully, if I'm not mistaken. As we listen to Ric's speech, we'll talk about 3 different stylistic devices that he is using to help him entertain his audience and embellish his speech. The first stylistic device Ric uses is onomatopoeia, when you use a word or utterance that mimics the actual sound it describes. Check it out.
Imagine a plane full of smoke. Imagine an engine going clack, 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 clack.
Here, Ric's stylistic device, clack, 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 is an onomatopoeia because he's using a word that mimics the actual sound of what was happening to the plane or what the plane was sounding like. And by doing so, Ric is helping craft an image in his audience's mind of what it felt like to be there or what it felt like to hear the plane failing. Another stylistic device that Ric uses is called litotes. Litotes is an extreme under-exaggeration. For example, if you ever came home really, really late one night and your parents might have said something to the effect of, we're just a little disappointed in you right now, instead of yelling at you or screaming or saying that they're mad at you, that might be litotes because they're under-exaggerating the emotions that they are having by saying they're a little disappointed. In Ric's speech, he uses a few litotes to create moments of humor. So let's check those out.
And then he says 3 words, as unemotional 3 words as I've ever heard. He says, brace for impact. I didn't have to talk to the flight attendant anymore. The second thing I learned that day, and this is as we clear the George Washington Bridge, which was by not a lot.
Here, Ric's use of litotes creates those little humorous moments in his speech that helps Ric keep the speech a little lighter as opposed to kind of a dark speech that it could have been. And third, Ric uses simile, which is a comparison using like or as. So let's check that out.
About a month later, I was in a performance by my daughter, first grader, not much artistic talent yet. And I'm bawling, I'm crying like a little kid.
Again, the simile helps create that mental picture in the minds of the audience. It isn't just he's crying a little bit or he has one tear. He is crying like a kid. So as the audience, you can envision him sobbing, again, as opposed to just having that one tear. And that's the perspective of style as ornamentation. We as speakers can think of ways to add devices like onomatopoeia, litotes, or similes into our speech to make them more enjoyable, to make it easier for the audience to envision what we're talking about. But stylistic devices can actually do so much more than just embellish our speech. And so in our next video, we're going to discuss the ways that stylistic devices can actually make meaning and shape how our audiences are thinking about themselves and about the topic being discussed. Check that out.